Hi, I'm Brian Hubbard. I'm a assistant professor of practice here at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. And I come to teaching after about 30 years of the advertising business. Well, I mean, I think the good news to begin with is that we're kind of moving away from that, and there's a greater and more increasing awareness of the fact that the ideal is no longer the ideal. However, I mean, I think it's pervasive. I think it's in every channel, and I think it has been for a very long time. So I don't think one channel favors it more than another. I think it's equally distributed and has been for a very long time. I think a lot of fashion brands certainly still do it, and I think that that is going to be difficult to get them to move away from doing that. However, some are actually trying to support diversity in looks, in body types, but I think the fashion industry is the one that has the longest way to go. Well, I believe that fashion is very, very, very body oriented and looks oriented, and I think that the business is the business, and it's the business of beauty. And until societal standards of beauty change, I don't think the fashion industry is going to be changing anytime soon. I mean, we can talk about two kinds of responsibility. I think the first kind of responsibility is, should they disclose things that have been edited? Should they disclose that things have been retouched, much the way that tobacco has to disclose how harmful their products are, and the way some food companies need to disclose on labels how good or bad, quote unquote, their products may be. But do I think the advertising industry should do that? I don't think it's going to. Do I think it should? I think we should say that photos have been retouched, for sure, or that people have been digitally enhanced. Yes, definitely. I think that's a great idea. Until we get to the point where everyone is beautiful, I think that it's a step in the right direction. I don't think it's going to have much of an immediate effect if people start doing it, but you never really know. So, but no, I don't. Well, in terms of casting people, in terms of in things like that, I don't think there really is a code of ethics. I think that it's up to the individual advertiser and their agency to decide how they want the models that they cast to portray their products. So no, I don't think that there's any kind of ethical standard about who can and can't be cast, or who should or shouldn't be cast. That's national or global or anything like that. Well, so much of this depends on the product and the advertiser. So I think ethics comes into play when and if things are being unrealistically portrayed, whether that be bodies or whether that be products. I think there's an ethical imperative to portray things accurately. But in terms of the body shapes and types, so much of it is dependent on the product and, again, the advertiser. I mean, some advertisers have a very inclusive kind of approach to it, where everyone is beautiful, which is a place I'd like to see everyone get to, and others do not. And we also actually need to make a differentiation between clients and agencies. I mean, it's really the clients who are the ones who ultimately have the decision what kind of people are going to be advertising, they're going to put in their advertising for their products. And agencies can recommend all they want, but ultimately it's the client's decision. And if the client doesn't want people that they consider to be unattractive or not beautiful in their advertising, ultimately the agency has no decision-making, like ultimate decision-making power here. So it's the client, I honestly believe it's the clients who need to change first. And I do know that agencies push clients for change, and they try very hard. And some clients push agencies for change. But it's a back and forth kind of thing. I don't think in my lifetime that's going to happen. I just don't think this country is prepared to, I mean, it's hard to to enforce that kind of thing. And there are just so many ways around it, because I've been seeing what's going on in Europe and I've been reading about it, and I think the Nordic countries like Finland, I know, also has something similar to that. People just find ways around it, and you know, we talk about healthy BMI because I think that's what a lot of the standards are based on in the European legislation. Is debatable because some people with a BMI of 19 or 20 are also very, very, very healthy, and so there are ways around. What I'm saying is that there are ways around this, no matter whether it's legislated or not, and people in the countries where these legislations are in place are still getting around them.